The morning of the 4th of October of 2005 was an important day for me. It's the day I got injured in Iraq. I was only there for just over a month during the holy month of Ramadan for the Muslims. And I was a machine gunner on top of a Humvee. And I was in the lead of the convoy. And on this particular morning, we just didn't feel good about it. They switched some people around in my vehicle. I had a bad feeling in my stomach. And as a matter of fact, the night before, my driver and I were talking, and we said, you know, I don't feel good about tomorrow. Something just tells me it's gonna be bad. That morning, we got up and we headed out, and we had a machine on our Humvee called a Blue Force Tracker. It's a GPS overlay on a map, so it's like you're looking at a satellite map, and you see your little dot on there, and you see all your good guy dots on there, and so you know where everybody's at. Well, ours had a 15-second delay on it, and so where we thought we weren't really. We were 15 seconds past that, and when you're driving in the city and you're going about 45 miles an hour, that's a few blocks. And so we take a right turn that we think is supposed to be the right turn that we're supposed to take, and it wasn't. And it's a dirt road, which we immediately knew was a bad sign, because the insurgents would plant these IEDs in the road and cover them up, and you'd never know they were there when you're driving by real fast. And there's nobody on the road, which is another bad sign, because usually the population there knows when something's gonna go down. As we turned onto that road and we were heading down there, it's kind of like an alleyway. There's really nowhere to turn around, and we're the lead vehicle, so we just gotta push through this thing. As we go, the first IED goes off behind us, and it actually lifts the back of the Humvee up a little bit. And I'm kind of used to this by now. It's happened a couple of times, and there's nothing like a close call with death that just, it's a huge adrenaline rush. I'm up there and I'm screaming, woo, yeah! And another one goes off. This one was a little closer than usual, and when that IED went off on the left, it hit me in the face. And that's what this scarring on my face is from. It's actually little pieces of metal that have been embedded into my skin. It's called a shrapnel tattoo. They asked if I was all right, and I said, yeah, I'm all right, let's just get the heck out of here. You know, I just got hit in the face with an explosion. My driver says, hey, hold on. All this happened within about 5 seconds, but it just seemed like an eternity. He tried to crank the wheel off to the right there, and the IED went off right underneath his seat. I woke up in a kind of a daze. I heard someone say, oh no, Seeley's dead too. And that's when it clicked in my head, like, something really bad just happened. I can't move. I didn't know the Humvee was on top of me. I can barely hear. My ears are ringing, and all I'm hearing is people screaming and yelling. And they lift the Humvee off the top of me, and they put me on a stretcher. And I remember getting into the back of the Humvee, and my corpsman, our medical personnel that serves with us, he asked me, he said, hey, Seeley, where does it hurt the worst? And I said, my left leg and my right hand, doc. And he said, well, your left leg's jacked. It's pretty much behind your head. And he cut my glove off, and my hand just kind of fell open, you know, just fell apart. And I just remember him, you know, kind of looking the other way, and he told me to look the other direction, and then I wake up almost a week, I think it's over a week later, in Bethesda, Maryland, at a naval hospital. And I spent the next about a month and a half in this hospital, and they flew me back to Washington. I stayed at St. Joseph's in Tacoma. Had to learn to walk again, had to learn to write again, had to learn to do everything again, take a shower by myself again. It was pretty humiliating, being 19 years old, being on top of the world, and having somebody wipe your butt for you. It was a pretty humbling experience. When I got out of the hospital, I was just really angry at the Iraqi and Muslim people. And I put all the blame on them for everything. And as a matter of fact, when I started going back to school at Green River Community College, I was walking down the hall, and there was a young man there that was a refugee from some Middle Eastern country, and he was speaking Arabic around the corner and had a cell phone. And in Iraq, I would have shot that guy, you know, because those cell phones are detonating those IEDs. And so I was looking on my right-hand side, I was looking for my pistol, trying to grab it, and that's when I realized there's a big problem here. You're not in Iraq anymore, you are in the United States. And but I just couldn't figure out how to not be angry. And Pastor Wes Lenseth was the senior pastor here for a long time. And he gave a sermon on forgiveness one morning, and it really hit me pretty hard. It's in Matthew 6, verses 14 through 15. And Jesus just gets done with the Lord's Prayer, and everybody knows the Lord's Prayer, and everybody's, totally in line with that, and it sounds great and all that. But right after that, it says, "For if you do not forgive, you will not be forgiven," pretty much. And I was like, man, why did he have to say that? I could live the rest of this Christian life stuff, all right, I'm not gonna, go and cheat on my wife. I'm not gonna go murder somebody. But if everything that I believe in hinges on my being able to forgive somebody else in order for me to be forgiven, I had to start thinking about how to forgive people and how to get that done. I struggled with it for about 3 months. I prayed about it. I fought myself about it. And over time, God just kept laying on my heart that, Shawn, these people are no different than anyone else. They're just lost people. One time I was getting ready to come to church, and I'm in the shower, and John 7:3 popped into my head, and I said, John 7:3. Nobody knows John 7:3. I know John 3:16. That's the only John verse I've ever heard of. So I get out of the shower, I get dressed, I open my Bible, it's on my desk, and I look at it, and it's Jesus' brother speaking to him, saying, "You should return to Judea and show them the miracles that you do." And I'm like, man, I've been having these dreams about going back to Iraq and helping people, and that's scaring me. What's going on? And so I talked with my pastor about it. I talked with a couple people about it, and they said, maybe God's really putting a call in your life, and maybe you should follow it. And I said, all right, God, I'm going to try your way. I'm going to give it up to you. And I decided, I'm going to give up this chance that I have to do some web development work that I've been going to school for, and said, I'll try this whole, serving you thing. I'll go to school and learn to be a pastor and learn to work for you. And I got a scholarship from the school, paid for that. So I'm eating for free, I'm living for free. God's just continuing to bless me, and he's opening doors for me everywhere. My name is Shawn Seeley, and this is my freedom story.